What is Tool's music actually about? I've been a Tool fan for many years, and I thought I would explore this question with you guys today. Now, of course, it's a very broad question because bands explore different themes in different songs, and in different albums they might explore entirely opposing themes. But when I think about Tool and I listen to Tool, what is the essence of the message they're trying to convey? What is really at the heart of what they're saying? Now, I don't think that this video is going to be exhaustive, and there's no way for me to talk about this without being a little bit subjective, because obviously I'm going to be reading my own interpretations into things, but you can judge for yourself whether you think the conclusions I reach are fair or not. So the way I'm going to approach this is just by looking at 3 of Tool's songs: Fear Inoculum, Vicarious, and The Grudge. I'm going to look at the lyrics and talk about what are these songs actually saying? And so if you are a Tool fan, let me give you the disclaimer right now that I probably am going to be overthinking and overanalyzing, and at the risk of separating the body from the mind. If you know, you know. Let me begin by saying that I think it's a huge oversimplification to categorize Tool as a druggy band, to say that you have to go into a room by yourself and sit alone in silent darkness while you take 5 dried grams of something in order to fully perceive what they're trying to communicate to you. I think this is a huge oversimplification. Tool is much more than just a druggy band. The themes that they touch on relate much more deeply to the human experience, and to just categorize them in that way, and it's often done by Tool fans themselves, even myself at one point, I think this is it doesn't do service to the band. It doesn't do service to the themes that they're actually exploring. Now, I don't want to pretend that looking at 3 songs is somehow going to give us a perfect understanding of the band. Obviously, when you consider the weight of the full discography, there's so much more we could look into and so much more we could discuss, but I don't want the fear of not covering everything to prevent me from making something and starting some kind of a conversation about this. Because I would like to know what you think about this if you are a fellow Tool fan, and I know you've probably thought about this stuff too. So let's begin by looking at their song Vicarious. And before I even talk about the lyrics, let me just give you an overview. I personally think that this song is an exploration of the Jungian idea of the shadow. There are certain parts of our personality that don't make it into our persona, what we show to other people. We suppress these darker parts of our personality. You can think of this as the shadow from a Jungian perspective. And if we repress the shadow and we don't acknowledge the shadow, it can wreak psychological havoc on people. I think Vicarious explores this concept masterfully. Let's look at the lyrics. Eye on the TV, 'cause tragedy thrills me, whatever flavor it happens to be. Like killed by the husband, drowned by the ocean, shot by his own son. She used a poison in his tea and kissed him goodbye. That's my kind of story. It's no fun till someone dies. So these are like news headlines, right, that you would expect to see maybe passing along the screen. And you might read this and think, oh my goodness, this person is a monster. Well, this is exactly the point. This is what people do. People vicariously look at the suffering and the pain that others feel, and it makes us feel more alive because I'm not there experiencing that suffering. I'm safe, I'm comfortable, I'm in my home, and I consume the suffering of other human beings as if it's some sort of twisted entertainment. The lyrics go on to call out the viewer on this by saying, don't look at me like I'm a monster, because you're frowning out of one face, but what are you doing with the other face? You're staring at the TV, or maybe your cell phone, right, these days, and what are you doing? You're staring like a zombie while the mother holds a child, watches him die with their hands to the sky, crying, why oh why? The song is calling us out and saying, well, who are we to think we're so high and mighty, to think we're so much, we're so good. Really, we all, to some degree, do this. We see the suffering present in other people, and it does make us feel more alive, and this is this exploration of the shadow. We then get to the chorus where we hear the title of the song, which is I need to watch things die. From a distance, vicariously I live while the whole world dies. You all need it too, don't lie. Why can't we just admit it? Why can't we just admit it? We won't give pause until the blood is flowing, neither the brave nor bold, nor brightest of stories told. So we won't give pause till the blood is flowing. So no one is really exempt from this. I need to watch things die from a good, and then the song adds, I need to watch things die from a good, safe distance. Then we get to some really beautiful symbolism where it says part vampire, part warrior, carnivore and voyeur, so just observing, consuming like a carnivore, sucking the blood, the life out of other people vicariously for ourselves. That vampire symbolism is so good. And then I love the stare at the transmittal, so stare at the screen, the information that's coming to you, and sing to the death rattle. So what is the death rattle? La 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 la, lie, right? So we're oftentimes when we watch the news, we're being fed some sort of a specific perspective that might not necessarily match the actual facts, right? And so it's almost like a rattle. You can almost envision the viewer, us as a baby that has this pacifier, this rattle that's keeping us occupied as we stare at this transmitter. And what is the sound? What is the song of the lullaby? La 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 la, lie. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of lyrical writing. This next part of the song is my favorite. I'm credulous at best. Your desire to believe in angels in the hearts of men. Pull your head out of your hippie haze and give a listen. We shouldn't have to say it all again. The universe is hostile, it's impersonal, devour to survive. So it is, so it always has been. So this idea that Tool is some kind of hippie band, it's all about love. No, these guys are exploring very deep themes about what the personality is, what the human condition is like, and we see this present within these lyrics, within this song. He's actually challenging the hippies, wake up, the world is, I would say as a Christian, fallen, right? The world is rife with sin. We each have to battle between good and evil each day. It's a decision we have to make. And if you're not conscious of the evil within you, then you will project it out into the world and you will never see it inside of yourself, which I think is the message of the song. And of course, right at the end of the song, we get this line, which is, I live while the whole world dies, much better you than I. Right? So it's at the heart of our sinful selfishness, we see this idea that, I want to live, let the whole world die. Of course, I can't separate this interpretation from my own personal life, right? To me, I see this as directly opposite to the message of Christ, which is that he dies for the whole world. So it's this beautiful opposite that you see, and it shows us the condition we are in, right? This completely fallen, broken state, this horrible mix of vampiric consumerism, just trying to aggrandize ourselves, to make ourselves the center point of everything. Meanwhile, everything else just dies. So if you think this is some kind of a druggy song, I would highly encourage you to reread these lyrics and just contemplate what this is saying about the human condition, because to me, this song always reminds me about the darkness in my own heart, the propensity all of us have to perform evil in small and in big ways. And so what is Tool's music actually about? Well, one, we can see it explores the human condition. This is point number one I want to make. Okay, so now we're going to talk about The Grudge, which is an amazing song. The opening song on the Lateralis album. It has one of the greatest vocal screams ever, I think, in any song. Definitely worth listening to if you haven't listened to it. And this song has a lot of alchemical symbolism, which I'll sort of break down as we get to it. So right from the beginning of the song, we can see that we're going to be considering grudges, holding on to a grudge against our fellow man. And just the opening line is already so good because we wear the grudge like a crown, right? We wear it almost with pride sometimes, and we might not say this to other people, but we wear the grudge because it sort of makes us feel, I am right to have this anger at this person. I am right to have this hatred at this person. Of course, this destroys us, which is the message of the song, which again doesn't match the typical rushed interpretation of what Tool is about. Let's explore the next line. Calculate what we will or will not tolerate. So I'm going to, I will determine, no, if he does this, it's too much, and this is wrong, this is offensive, this is mean. And guys, if I sound like I'm angry and ranting here, I'm just really passionate about this, and I've probably had one too many cups of coffee. But let's continue. We hold on to this grudge like a cornerstone, and the cornerstone, of course, being the most important part of the building, what keeps the building up. And what's interesting is that grudge maintains and keeps up the building of our hatred and our anger towards this person that we're holding the grudge to. So the cornerstone metaphor is brilliant. Hence the lyrics go on to say, otherwise otherwise it all comes down. We justify denials and grip onto it till the lonesome end. We clutch it like a cornerstone. We are terrified of being wrong. It's the ultimatum prison cell. And of course, we create this ultimatum of hatred, and then we put ourselves in the prison cell, even as life moves on and as we grow and as we get older. And this is symbolized by the movement of the planets, in this case Saturn ascending, coming round again. Life is moving, reality is going on, but we are sort of stagnant and in the middle, and we are not growing with everything else. And we're choosing, am I going to move? Am I going to go on 1 or 10? And we're ignorant. We don't know the damage that's being done because we continue to wear this crown of hatred and negativity. You could obviously go into great detail about the alchemical meaning of Saturn, and there are guys who do this, right? I'm sure there's entire blogs where people just go into detail, and I do have videos on my channel where I take deep dives into some of Tool's songs. That's not the goal of this video, but just to keep things very broad and general here, I'm just going to say you can think of this almost like the movement of life and how we constantly get pulled up and pulled down. We're pulled between growth of who we could be, faced by the reality of who we are, and constantly we're being swallowed up and we're being spat out, and we get to choose if we want to move on, if we want to grow, or if we want to continue to hold on to our anger and our hatred and our grudge. The song then actually makes a suggestion to you, the listener. It makes like a recommendation to you, and it says, let this ocean, let these waves of change take this anger you have, which is symbolized as a cold and fated anchor. Okay, the anchor is a beautiful symbol because it holds the ship down. It keeps us stagnant and in position, right? It's saying, no, give that anger away. Let life kiss and transmutate. So we get the idea of the alchemical stone, right? Taking this lead, taking this burden, taking this anger, transforming it into gold, transforming it into something positive, transforming it into love. And of course, if you look at it from the Jungian lens, I mean, Carl Jung equated the alchemical stone in many ways to the experience of finding Christ within one's own soul, which is a whole other conversation. And then we see the song saying, let go, let go, let go, let go. What is this about? To me, this is not a negative song. To me, this is telling you that you need to let go of the grudges and the hatred and the anger in your life, and you need to take that energy and transform it into something positive. You need to transform it into love, into we take this crown and we cast it, because the symbolism of the crown means, we put ourselves above the other person and we think we're better than them. You need to cast that crown. You need to humble yourself. You need to allow that anger to leave you, and you need to forgive. So what is the song about? Forgiveness. I would say at the end of the day, if I was going to be a little bit more true to the lyrics, I would say it's about how grudges destroy us. And guys, of course, this is a beautiful message. This is the thing that Tool fans know, that people that don't listen to Tool think, they project what they think Tool is about onto people who listen to Tool, when really these songs are challenging us to be better people. Okay, so let's look at one more song, which is Fear Inoculum, the first song also on their most recent album, 2019, Fear Inoculum, an inoculation against fear, taking a little bit of fear into you to allow yourself to build up a resistance to fear in general. The song begins, immunity long overdue, contagion, in this case fear, I exhale you. Naive, I opened up to you. I found venom in the mania. Now I exhale you. Then it says deceiver. The deceiver says, he says, you belong to me. When you listen to the song and you get to this part where it says deceiver says, you can hear there's a very clear auditory indication that this is a different voice, and this voice is the voice of the deceiver. Now, again, the deceiver, to me in my Catholic mind, I think Satan, right? And it fits perfectly with this narrative, as we'll continue to see. What does the deceiver say? He says, you belong to me. The source of all your fear, right? You belong to me. You don't want to breathe the light of the others. You don't want to be the light of the others. In fact, you should fear the light. You should fear the breath. I would say the breath of God. You should fear the others for eternity. But then, what happens? The character in the song says, but I hear them now. I hear that these are deceptions. I hear that these are lies. Now I inhale the clarity, and now I can hear the venom. I can hear the venom in what you say. It is now inoculated because I took some venom in. Because I heard the lies, I had it in me. I can now see that they are in fact lies. Bless this immunity. Bless this immunity to the lies. I'm going to sound really Catholic. To the lies of Satan, right? To the lies of the deceiver. However you want to, you might not be a Christian. I understand that. So anybody listening to the song is gonna understand just this tendency within ourselves to cut ourselves off from others, to fear goodness, to fear communion, to fear community, to just want to isolate ourselves from the world around us. And of course, this destroys us. We want to seek we want to build up courage, we want to build up bravery, we want to overcome our fear. We want to be light, we want to overcome our fear, we want to be salt of the earth. We then get to the chorus, which says, exhale, expel, recast my tale, weave my allegorical elegy. An elegy normally being a poem, a serious poem about death. I am now weaving my death. I am now dying to who I used to be, and I'm weaving that story. I'm recasting myself. I'm becoming a new person. And what am I doing? I'm saying to the deceiver, forfeit all your control, you poison, you spectacle. And we exorcise, here we get again religious language, right? We get this idea of exorcism, removing the spectacle, removing this malady, this illness, this disparate poison, banish it for eternity, purge me, evacuate this venom from me and this fear that binds me. The song then says, unveil now, lift away, I see you running, deceiver chased away, a long time coming. So what is the song about? Well, again, it's exploring the human condition. It's exploring our brokenness, and it's trying to give us some sort of hope about something we can aim for, an immunity to fear, an immunity to the deceiver, so that we can hopefully not deceive ourselves, which is another way you could read this song, but also not allow ourselves to breathe in this poison, but actually exhale and become better people. So of course there's many other interpretations, and many Tool fans, sincere Tool fans, will disagree with me, and that's fine. But when I listen to this music, this is really what's entering my heart, what's moving me, and it's the reason that I continue to listen to Tool. And I think Tool has a positive message very often that it can teach you. The lyrical themes of the songs we explored encourage us to give up our grudges, to embrace change, to move with the positive, to exhale the fear that binds us. And I just see this as a positive. Here it comes. You might have been anticipating it. Their music is a tool to help you improve, to help you become a better person. And you might not like every song. You might not agree with the symbolism in every song. You might not agree with the way that every song plays out. But generally, if somebody asked me, Dylan, what is Tool's music about? I would say it's about becoming the best person we can be. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. If you like stuff like this, please subscribe. Please like this video. Let me know in the comments if you're a Tool fan and I said something that just absolutely triggered you. Let me know in the chat. God bless you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. My name's Dylan. Goodbye for now.